Hey guys, in today's video we are going to go through episode 3 of the Kenobi show. We are going to go through what happened in the episode and I'll give you my thoughts on it as we go, as well as at the end. So without further ado, let's begin. This episode starts as Kenobi meditates, once again reaching out for Qui-Gon. We hear different lines from the PreChorus as we see Vader being assembled. Kenobi is clearly sensing his presence. Vader's helmet is sealed and the Dark Lord is back once again. We then see a beautiful shot of Mustafar and of course Darth Vader's castle. Vader is sitting on his throne as he's receiving a transmission from Reva, letting him know that they're tracking down Kenobi. Reva has told Vader as well as the other Inquisitors that Kenobi killed the Grand Inquisitor, which will put her in a very bad spot when he comes back, because obviously he's not dead. Vader informs Reva that if she fails in tracking down Kenobi, he will eliminate her. He stands up and walks over to the side, looking out at the bubbling lava where he once fought Kenobi and lost. Leia impatiently asks if Obi-Wan can make the ship go faster with the Force or something, in which he replies saying that's not how the Force works. She then asks him how it works, how it feels, and Kenobi explains it by telling her that it feels like turning on the light when you have been afraid of the dark. And we can tell from this scene that Kenobi is very broken and very depressed at this point. They land on a mining planet called Mapuso, and after walking for a bit, Kenobi stops and looks off into the distance. He sees Anakin standing the same way he did on Mustafar, and I got pretty excited when I saw this, to be honest. This is the first time in 17 years that we see Hayden as Anakin Skywalker. And this just shows that Kenobi's PTSD and his thoughts really fills his head up so much that he's hallucinating. We see Reva landing on the Inquisitor's base and she orders the other Inquisitors to launch their probe droids, which they refuse at first. They pretty much just fight over who should be in charge, and the fifth brother even shows his superiority by holding her against the table with the Force. I still don't know what Reva's motive is. I don't know why she wants to be in charge, but I hope we'll find out later in one of the other episodes. Leia and Kenobi get picked up by an Imperial driver by making him believe that they are lost farmers from Duel, and later a squad of stormtroopers also gets picked up. This was a fun and tense scene. Leia finds out that Obi-Wan knew her mother and she asks him if he is her real father, which he replies by saying, "I wish that I could say I was." And no, it does not mean what you think it means. To me, he's saying this because he knows who her father really is and what he has become, that it would be so much easier if that didn't happen. Obi-Wan then starts talking about his family, saying that he remembers his mother's shawl and his father's hands, and that he had a brother. This was a really cool scene, and I don't think we've ever heard anything from Kenobi's childhood before. So that was very interesting to hear. And they can both relate to this feeling of not knowing their parents. The driver stops and a new squad of stormtroopers walk up to interrogate Kenobi. A probe droid is brought in and it just barely scans Kenobi's face when he fires with his blaster. He takes down every trooper there until he's saved by a rogue Imperial. Vader has been informed of this by the fifth brother, which of course Reva is not happy about. The rebel named Tala leads Leia and Kenobi to a secret tunnel known as the Path, which all leads to the planet of Jabim. Multiple Jedi have gone through this place, including Quinlan Vos, which means we finally find out that he did survive Order 66. Kenobi runs to the door as he sees stormtroopers as well as the Inquisitors line up as Darth Vader slowly walks through the village. Kenobi is terrified as he sees Vader choking and snapping the necks of the civilians. Kenobi runs away, trying to distract them for enough time for Leia to go through the tunnels. He walks away only to see Vader standing right in front of him as he ignites his blood-red blade. Kenobi tries to avoid fighting Vader by running away from him. Vader says to Obi-Wan that he cannot hide forever, which reminds me of Return of the Jedi, where he says the exact same thing to Luke. Kenobi ignites his blue lightsaber as we get some of the most powerful dialogue when Kenobi says to Vader, "What have you become?" And Vader says,
"I am what you made me."
Vader clearly has the upper hand in this fight. He's merely playing with Kenobi, telling him that the years have made him weak. 10 years has he waited for this moment, prepared, only to fight a fraction of what Kenobi used to be. Reva finds the safe house, including the secret tunnel, as Vader lifts Kenobi with the Force. He uses his lightsaber to set the ground on fire as he pulls Kenobi into the fire, making him suffer the way he made him suffer on Mustafar, saying that his pain has only begun. Vader orders a group of stormtroopers to bring Kenobi to him, when one of them is shot by Tala. She shoots one of the barrels, which blows up, creating even bigger flames. Vader stands, watching as Kenobi gets picked up by the loader droid with rageful flames in his eyes. I don't think this will be their last confrontation in the show, and I don't think Vader feels that way either. He wants to play with his prey before killing it. I don't know how, but Reva manages to get Leia at the end. Overall, I really liked this episode. I just thought there was a little bit lack of music in some parts of the episode. And of course, the questions about Reva, which I also had in the last episodes, are yet to be answered. I loved seeing Darth Vader again, and the few seconds of Anakin were really cool. This episode really showed how twisted, evil, and brutal Vader has become at this point, which really gives Obi-Wan a lot of reason to believe that there was no good in him left in the original trilogy. In the next episodes, I think Kenobi is going to have to train and get back into shape. Maybe this will be the time when he will speak to Qui-Gon. Maybe he'll go to Quinlan, who knows. But I definitely think that Vader and Kenobi will fight again in this show. Let me know what you thought of this episode in the comments. What would you give it out of 10 if you had to? Have a great day, may the Force be with you, and remember, this is the way.